What's up guys, welcome back to Grand Prix World and happy Wednesday to the whole lot of yous. We will be running probably just the Canadian Grand Prix this episode, I'm afraid. You've probably already noticed that I am super unavailable and I am squeezing this episode in, quite literally squeezing it in, between work and another appointment. I'm going to look at a practice studio for drumming, so time is of the essence. Normal service will resume, I hope, next week, and the week after that I'm on vacation, so we'll have a lot more time for video making and heartbreaking, as they say. Let's take a look at the news. We have signed a team sponsorship deal with PlayLife, very important. We won the last Grand Prix. It was our first win in 3 rounds, I think. Pedro Diniz failed to finish yet again. Benetton have taken up a partner deal with Ford, so they will benefit to some degree. Current development and any development we do in the future should benefit them sort of passively. The fastest lap went to Mika Hakkinen in the McLaren. Minardi have signed Luca Badoa, and Intercond have signed with Jordan. McLaren have signed Vistion, and Bick have signed with Williams, so nothing super exciting going on there. What's the plan with tyres, I hear you ask? It's a good question, Zero. Oh, thanks Zero, thanks for asking. We will be going for the hard compound. I'm just going to get the hard compound up to maximum level. We're already done with the fuel. The fuel's in a great condition, and we only have 2 points left to place on the engine. So all in all, things are looking pretty sexy there. We're almost done, very nearly done with the 2004 car, with half the season still to go, which is fantastic news. And the C-Spec has just gone into the CFD simulation phase of development. Again, it's another upgrade for fast corners, so we're not immediately going to feel the benefit, but later in the season that should come to the fore. What's our next upgrade? Anybody's guess. I'm going to upgrade the reliability of our electronic systems. And we could finish the season with almost full everything. Basically, we can now gain 8 points in technology on both performance and reliability, and there's 9 empty slots. So we will leave one thing undone, but that does put us in an excellent position for next year, and a lot of that technology should carry over, I hope. Over on the factory, the supercomputer, as we've discussed, is under construction, and we've not yet ordered upgrade work on the factory. That might be something we do last thing, dead at the end of the season again, if we happen to have enough cash left over. We're starting to build up a bit of a surplus again now, after a shaky start at the start of the season. Let's take a look at what's going down in Sponsortown. Still lacking some guarantees. We've only just signed the works deal with Goodyear there, and we're beginning to flirt a little with people like Danker and PlayStation. We will bring to the next Grand Prix, I think, we will ditch PlayLife, and we will ditch Ford, and we will instead bring Danker and PlayStation, just to start getting the ball rolling there. Let's run some testing, and we'll crack on from there. Getting to be an expensive habit, this testing. It is getting to be an expensive habit. We will... we don't need to do any fuel testing anymore, so let's just close that off straight away. I don't think we really need to run 350 kilometers of testing here. Sorry, miles of testing. That just goes to show I've been living on the mainland too long that I've started using kilometers instead of miles. Right, what to do here? I'm going to put 30% into setup testing. Carl can continue doing his thing, And I guess mainly it's Forschung testing that's going to be the beneficiary of this round's testing. Let's dance. That could be pretty much perfect. We could have done with a little bit more engine testing, but that's a pretty good turnout for us actually. When I say a pretty good turnout, I mean that we haven't wasted points, we haven't overdeveloped ourselves. I'm going to put that point into heat, and it will take one more round to get the perfect engine, but we're not exactly going to suffer because of it. Oh, so close. One more point here would have translated into the full 4 points we needed to get the perfect hard compound tyre, but we have ordered another compound of tyre, and that's a good thing. We have the wet tyre to finish development on, and then it's just a point each on the soft and hard compounds, and we've basically peaked. So any other gains now will be coming directly from chassis upgrades. We will be aiming to get as many development packages out on track as possible, budget allowing. It's kind of tough to say for sure if we're going to get a D-spec out again this season, but that is the hope. And the way things are going, we're going to need it, because competition has been hotting up and it's getting a little bit spicy out on track. And I'm clicking around because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let's upgrade that technology and repair Deniz's car. Fool. I think what it is that I'm not used to having to rush through these episodes, so I'm blabbering like a moron, and I'm doing everything in one take. You guys don't, well, maybe you assumed it, but I don't think we've ever really talked about it, but when I do an episode for you, aside from all the crashing, I actually, if I sort of fluff my words even more than my accent normally would, or I find myself rambling off on some bizarre tangent, I actually do re-record stuff. But there's no time for that today, so you are getting pure unfiltered nonsense. Right, that looks good. Yeah, I'm not prepared to turn Deniz down to level 2 on how aggressive he is. It just, I'm not okay with that. He's got the capabilities, we know he has, and he's just choosing to be a muppet. I'll set Deniz up a little bit differently because I think he needs the extra help on flat speed. Right, we're going Evolution 7 for race fuels and engine. Our new tyres were the wets, so looking good. Keeping Deniz on the hard compound, Fisichella on the soft. Again, every dog has his day, and there will be some rounds coming up where Deniz benefits in qualifying as well as race for having those tyres. 25 degrees and cloudy with a strong wind. Interesting conditions, no doubt. Everything's set up how we want it. Let's see where we lie then. 3rd and 4th, so we've not really gained. This was the first track where we would have seen some level of benefit from the B-spec car. Now the gap is a little bit closer between Fisichella and Häkkinen, but we are comfortably 3rd and 4th there. So Johnny Newhouse takes pole for McLaren on a 1:18.454, ahead of teammate Mika Häkkinen on a 1:18.625. Just behind him is Fisichella on a 1:18.632, and noticeably behind him is Pedro Diniz on a 1:18.720. Michael Schumacher outqualifies teammate Celso Moreira again for a Ferrari 5.6, and Alexander Wurz outqualifies his teammate at Jordan, putting them 7th and 8th. There. See, I would cut that out. I would have re-recorded that, but sorry. Eddie Irvine puts his Williams 9th, and Jan Magnussen will start 10th for Minardi. 22 degrees, so it's a drop of 3 degrees for race day. And we're going to do the usual slick manwavers. Now, 35-34 split for Deniz, I think. Now it could be entirely possible that on some tracks we can begin to move whoever's on the soft compound tyre onto a one-stop strategy. It's kind of touch and go really, but there will be some tracks coming up, I think, that we can get away with one stopping on the soft compound, and it might be worth trying it just to see, firstly, if Fisichella is capable of pulling it off, and secondly, the size of the advantage we'll gain by doing that. It could be other teams are already trying it. We're not actually in the race to see. Yeah, looking good. I've got a feeling, woohoo, I've got a feeling that Deniz is going to let us down again, and I'm really hoping to be proven wrong. So, prove me wrong, Deniz. He's proven me wrong. Oh, about time. Giancarlo Fisichella takes the win on a 133.10.734 ahead of teammate Pedro Deniz on a 133.14.161. It appears a double DNF took place for McLaren, which may explain this result. Michael Schumacher rounded off the podium for Ferrari on a 133.55.947. Toru Takagi put his Jordan 4th, one lap down. Shinji Nakano's Prost takes 5th, and the final points paying position goes to Johnny Herbert's Williams. Alexander Wurz didn't seem to have a particularly strong run, coming out 7th. Emmanuel Collard, his ridiculous hair, and his Stewart finished 8th. John Lacey, best finish of the season for him in 9th for Sauber. 3 laps down, though. Damon Hill, best season finish for him as well in Tyrrell. He also was 3 laps down. The last finisher was Juan Pablo Montoya's Sauber, finished 12th. 12ths? God damn it! Is it because because I know I can't re-record stuff? I'm just fluffing everything. That is a serious amount of attrition that's been going on. Driver errors for Celso Moreira and Alessandro Marini take them out of the race. The McLarens suffered with a clutch failure for Mika Hakkinen and an engine failure for Johnny Newhouse. The Benetton of David Coulthard also had an engine failure, as did the Stewart of Ricardo Rosset. Eddie Irvine's Williams had electronic failure. Jarno Trulli's Benetton also failed to finish with an undiagnosed problem. Undiagnosed problems also took out Jan Magnussen's Minardi. And Mika Salo's Minardi suffered electronic gremlins as well. So a lot of non-finishes and a lot of double non-finishes there for some teams. Fortunately, we were spared the pain. Fisichella extends his lead at the top of the Drivers' Championship, 30 points clear now of one Michael Schumacher, and Deniz moves up to 5th on 14 points. He's never in a million years going to close that gap, so he's out of the running. I'm afraid I was hoping for another tight season, but it just hasn't come to fruition. In the Constructors' Championship, we have gained, of course, by both McLarens DNFing there, but we really don't know our comparative pace to McLaren on a track other than Monaco, and Monaco was never going to suit us anyway, and the upgrade we brought to that Grand Prix was also the worst upgrade to bring to that Grand Prix because there are no particularly fast corners on that track. We are profitable again, so that's pleasing to me. Pedro Diniz wants to win a race. It's good that he's still got the fire in his belly, but okay, sorry, I had to switch my mind to German there for a moment. So, no time for losers. Arrow's claim, although we haven't, that no other team can challenge them for the championship this season. I've never said that. Never. Giancarlo Fisichella is in a class of his own, apparently. Fastest lap for Giancarlo Fisichella. Good to see we've reclaimed that. Arrows have signed HSBC, which indeed we have. Benetton have signed Brembo. Hewlett-Packard will be sponsoring Ferrari, and Universal Studios will sponsor Jordan. YKK will be sponsoring Minardi, whereas Brother will sponsor Prost, and Fond Metal Technologies will be sponsoring Sauber. Tyrrell have signed a deal with Auto Motorsport, and Eagle Star will sponsor Stewart. So all exciting stuff for people who aren't us. The PlayStation deal has gone literally nowhere. The Danker deal even less so, given that it's had an extra turn. Though we do have a 2.5 million potential offer from PlayStation there, which is pleasing. We've got the guarantee from Ford. That is excellent, excellent news. So I'm going to use that 20% of our staff somewhere else. We don't need you now. We will have a chat to Korean Air, I think. We're going to keep Goodyear sweet, keep bringing them to the Grand Prix. I'm going to drop the success card on the PlayStation deal because I suspect they're talking to somebody else, and it's worth slightly more to us than Danker is. The TV advantage, I'm going to wait and either spend that with Danker or Korean Air. I'm also tempted to drop it on the tyre deal, actually. Actually, that's what I'm going to do, so I can free up some of that staff. We've got a deal in place now for our fan club, so we will sign that. And we're getting 180,000 total, so that's 20,000 per Grand Prix. Not a huge amount of cash, really, but we're now moved that. God damn it! I'm really sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm super stressed today. I'm going to move staff over now to negotiating a team clothing deal. Again, that's got quite high demand, so we should get a pretty good price for it. And it's only 2 bars to fill, so it'll be a nice little bit of bonus income for this season. The car's looking like that. Not particularly impressive. I'm going to try and find a way. There's got to be a way somewhere to restore the visuals of this game. Someone's got to have done it, so I'm going to take a look and see if anyone's got a mod out that restores the graphical fidelity, because I cannot explain to you, the game never looked this bad on the old machines, ever. But for some reason that Ford logo has got bits of green on it, and it just merges completely into the allegedly black paint of the arrows. Moving onwards and upwards, let's take a look where we are in the design office. The 2004 car is complete. That is pleasurable. I'm going to move everybody over to working on driver aids now. We will find a cure. We'll get our electronics up to maximum, I think. And we will move the C-Spec development into the modelling stage. That is all looking really, really, really good to me. And we'll take this opportunity to upgrade our technology first of all, and then I'm going to build our first and second race cars for next season. There's a reason for that, you'll be pleased to know. In fact, I'm going to build all 3 because I can, first of all, but the second reason is that means we've just saved ourselves, not really, but we've saved ourselves 1.5 million at the end of the season. So that means we've now got 8 rounds to rebuild our cash reserves to hopefully bang in that level 4 factory upgrade, and then we can hopefully try and construct our own wind tunnel. A workshop would be useful, but I always tend to save the wind tunnel for last, but obviously having a level 5 wind tunnel, or even a level 1 wind tunnel, provides a significant boost over renting a wind tunnel. And given that what we're seeing on track at the moment is that we are struggling to develop at the same pace as some of our rivals, the best thing we can do is boost our ability to develop our car, and that means making it's not cheap, the wind tunnel. I will say it's the most expensive thing you can add onto your factory, and it's more expensive, I believe, than the actual factory upgrades. So I think a level 5 wind tunnel is significantly more than 6 million. I could be wrong, however. It has happened before. 1997, it was a Wednesday. So we will take a look at that in the coming episodes as well. I'm really sorry for the slow pace of new episodes at the moment, and I'm super sorry that this episode has been so slapdash, but I wanted to get something out to you because, you know, it's Wednesday, it's our tradition, it's what we do. But we will catch up again at the weekend. I'm working on some other stuff for you, but the pace is just a snail's pace because I've got the drumming, I've got my actual day job, I'm studying, I've got a whole bunch of other stuff going on, so things are really tight, but I will not neglect you for long, and I just want to thank you for being patient with me. I hope you guys are having a great week. I hope the end of your week is also awesome, and I'll see you for a cheeky beer together on Saturday. You take it easy.